A supermodel by the name of Christina Estrada is suing her ex-husband, a very, very wealthy Saudi man, for a whopping $262 million. Now, they have divorced because of the fact that this wealthy Saudi man has decided to marry a 25-year-old while he's married to Christina Estrada. Now, obviously, in Saudi Arabia, you can do that. You can have multiple wives. It's the moral thing to do. Christina,
they care a lot about morality. Yeah. But by the way, in their book, that is permissible. And so they think, yeah, what are you talking about? Of course, that's the most moral thing you can do is marry several different women.
This story is so bananas. Let me give you the details, okay? So she actually rejected a settlement of $49 million because she's like, no, that is not enough money to keep up with my fabulous lifestyle, right?
If you've become accustomed to a lifestyle where $49 million is not enough, boy, that's a hell of a lifestyle, man. And why people wonder why sometimes the uber rich get under our skin. Anyways.
Oh God, it gets worse. Okay, so she's seeking almost $262 million in compensation for her 13-year marriage to Dr. Walid Jufali, a 61-year-old Saudi billionaire. Okay.
Now, to be fair, he is a billionaire, and that's only about $20 million per year.
Jeez. All right, so here's what she said in court. I am Christina Estrada. I was a top international model. I have lived this life. This is what I'm accustomed to.
That's what I want to say from now on. I have lived this life. I've lived it. So, see, that's the thing about the rich that drives me crazy, right? Not all the rich, but the ones who are snobs like this.
I can't deal with it.
Yeah, just because you became accustomed to something doesn't mean that it continues forever. So, for example, I was accustomed to paying my rent until I couldn't. And then who do I go to?
Right.
Right? Do I go to my landlord and be like, you don't understand, this is the life I've lived. So I won't be paying my rent anymore.
No, but just think about how crazy that is, okay? Cenk and I have a relationship, a working relationship, right? Mm-hmm. Let's say for whatever reason I leave, you fire me, whatever, this relationship has ended. What do? Take you to court and say, I've been accustomed to not making enough money, and I would like Cenk Uygur to pay me X amount of dollars as a result of that. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's just absurd. It's absurd. But you got to get to the details, because the details, you know, she has to specify why it is that she deserves that amount of money. Why does she need that amount of money, okay? Mm-hmm. So in court, Estrada stated her demands for $73 million for property and $1.3 million a year for clothes.
Well, okay? I mean, this is the life she's lived.
Including $43,000 for fur coats. You are a bad, bad person. $146,000 for haute couture dresses, and $28,000 for shoes every year.
I do that.
Okay.
Actually, on that list, the shoes by the end seems reasonable. After you already spent the $53,000 on fur coats. So this is, by the way, every year.
This is every year. Yes, yes, every year. It gets better. I have more details for you. But, like, you look at those numbers, I mean, like, wow, like $146,000 for haute couture. Like, who even has that in their life savings or their retirement account? Like, you are a fucking terrible person.
I don't even know how to pronounce that, let alone spend $146,000 on it. Let alone every year. Like, you get to $146,000 of fancy-ass clothes, and then next year is like, well, obviously, I need a new $146,000 worth of shitty clothes nobody else wears. Okay.
By the way, if you're such a great international supermodel, then go out there and do your modeling and make your money.
This is the life you've lived.
This is the life you've lived, right? You're so great and you're so wonderful, then go out there and make some money. By the way, look, she was married to him for 13 years, okay? I don't know the dynamics of their relationship. I don't know what their relationship was like. I'm not making a judgment on that. I think that if they're divorcing, she deserves something, right? I'm not saying you don't deserve anything, but to look at $46 million and like poo-poo at that because it's not enough to keep up with your lavish lifestyle is so out of touch and tone deaf. I can't stand it. Okay, Estrada broke down when she related her and her former husband's daughter telephoning her to say, Mommy, you were going to make me a poor girl.
No, but you have to understand her pain. Imagine if they had to settle for only $49 million. Mommy, what would we ever do? This is the life we've lived. I don't know why they're British all of a sudden.
I don't even believe her daughter said that. I think she's full of shit. Anyway, she said she'd found a home in London's Eaton Square for $73 million that would cost another $8.7 million to decorate as she wished.
I mean, if I can't put $8.7 million of decorations into my $73 million house, why bother having it?
No, it gets worse. It gets worse. Another property costing $8.7 million was dismissed by her because it would have meant Estrada would have to share a floor with her staff.
Oh, I do declare the staff on the same floor. Oh, an outrage. Absolutely not. And this is not the life I've lived.
And a list of other demands, okay? $5.9 million needed for a country home. How many homes do you need, homegirl?
Well, she is a homegirl, so she needs a lot.
$454,000 for staff. $647,000.
I wonder what kind of staff she means.
All right. $647,000 to pay rent for a yacht for 2 weeks.
See, she doesn't even own the yacht. That's just rent on a yacht for just 2 weeks.
$6,439 to tip the crew. $330,000 for a Paris holiday.
Well, of course. I mean, are you going to go to Paris in under $330,000?
What? Like, what? Are you going to be in Paris for like 15 years? Is that the holiday? $99,000 for the nanny's room.
Which other people called their house.
My God.
Okay. So, look, here's the thing. Anna's right. We don't know about the relationship. I'm not in the business of defending Saudi billionaires.
Right.
I like how the guy's a doctor. I don't know what kind of doctor he is. He may be, but that's not how he made $1 billion. He made $1 billion by being a Saudi.
Yeah.
So they got born with a lot of oil under their ground. So I don't have a lot of sympathy for that. And if you're divorced and you're married to a super rich guy, you get to ask for a lot of money. That's the system all across the world, right or wrong. And historically, I've thought that it's a little bit of a crime. Mm-hmm. But the insanely rich have to have a little bit better tact than to do this publicly. But they don't get it. They live in their own bubble. They think, mummy, right? They really do believe, like, this is an outrage. How could anyone live on $49 million? Because everyone they know is a billionaire or has hundreds upon hundreds of millions of dollars. And to them, the idea of living on the same floor as their fucking staff?
Yeah.
Like, what an outrage that is. So, then you can't turn around and complain when we say, apparently there's a little bit of extra room to tax the rich.
Yeah, not only that, I want to change or correct the misconception that wealthy people have all earned it and they're all smarter than us. Here's the thing. If I ever in my life came across $49 million, which is what she rejected because it wasn't enough for her, I would be smart enough to invest that money and make that money work for me, right? But she's a fucking dumbass. So she's like, $49 million, but I'm going to use that for 12 Prada bags. And then what am I going to do, right? No, you're an idiot. You're an idiot, okay? So not all wealthy people are these hardworking, intelligent individuals that we need to applaud and treat as if they're God's gift to humanity. A lot of them are just fucking idiots. And this is an example of one of them. So,
I mean, look, there's one running for president who inherited $200 million from his daddy and then squandered a lot of it, and then runs around pretending to be a billionaire and very, very successful as he bankrupts companies over and over again. But look, I know this is not a case in the United States. So, but at the same time, they're getting flats in the UK, and it does involve the same kind of ideas in the UK as the US. Oftentimes when you say, hey, look, if we raise the tax on the rich a little bit, we can actually fund opportunities for everybody, the poor, the middle class, give them an education, give them a chance to become rich. But there's this ideology that Anna's referring to. Well, if you're poor, you deserved it. You just didn't work hard enough. But now, you could have been born with, in that family, or you could have been born in a family in a shack or in a one-bedroom apartment in the middle of a giant city. Well, that is not even, right? And I don't need to make the whole world even. No. I just want to give that kid who's born in a shack or an apartment a fair shot. I just want him to have a shot.
It's that simple. It's just opportunity. No one's handing anyone anything. It's just making sure society has the tools necessary to equalize people, when they're born, So they have opportunities to get themselves out of a bad socioeconomic status, right? Or a low socioeconomic status. Like we used to have those opportunities in the United States, and slowly but surely they've been taken away from us.
Yeah, so the next time somebody tells you, no, the rich are the hardest working people and they deserve everything they have, and the poor are bums and they deserve nothing, remember this case. So sometimes, yes, the rich have earned it and they've worked really hard. And sometimes they married an Arab sheik and think, what will I do if I can't spend $330,000 on my Paris vacation or $679,000 renting a yacht for 2 weeks?
For 2 weeks.
Trust me, there's a little bit more room to tax the rich.